the speed of a gust of wind, they carefully checked every nook and cranny. There was no way to hide from this green sun. That would have been as foolish as trying to hide from water on a sinking ship. I was just about to leap out from the shadows, but Lambdadelta grabbed him by the collar an instant before. Hell yeah.
おばさんが私たちをここまできっとおばさんは見張りの猫たちもやっつけてくれているはずよ。
俺もどうかここにいて見つかるくらいなら一刻も早くあそこにたどり着いて、鍵さえ取り返せればもう誰もあの本を開くことはできない。あ
そこにたどり着いて鍵を手に、それであそこ袋小路よ。逃げ場ないのよ、分かってる？
それは分かってるけど、
鍵は切り札にベルンカステルにだって一か八かな。鍵をカードに、
あのベルに交渉あった正気じゃないわ。
Hell yeah.
だがここに隠れてても絶対に見つかるなら100億の中の一つの確率だとしても鍵を手に入れ、それを切り札に奴と何
奇跡の魔女を相手にあんたは奇跡を祈るわけ？
天文学的数字の中にそれが後ろ宮家の魔法ってやつだぜ。
Fuck yeah.
私目がいいから教えて。あの黄金の鍵を取り囲んでる魔法陣、あれは簡単だけどなかなか触れば壊せる簡単な。でもね、どんな大魔女でも人間風情でも特に式典の進行上まだ1時間前に、つまり私たちは1時間稼がなきゃ鍵に触れることさえできないのよ。
エヴァおばさんはきっと見張りの猫たちをやっつけた時1時間はかからないはず。
見る限りまだ魔法陣、残念ながらエヴァがそうしてくれたとしてもそれは
1時間なんてちょろい。少なくともそれだけ粘れば手に入るという明白なゴールが。
そうね、いいじゃない、1時間の鬼ごっこ。私こわもてに追いかけ回されるのには慣れてるの。
あんたたち札付きのパー揃いね。ベルンとあの数の猫を相手に本気で鬼ごっこをさせてもらえると？
確率が 1% でもあるなら
俺たちが絶対にそれを掴み取ってやる。
The difference in enthusiasm between the siblings, who had everything to lose, and Lambdadelta was immense. However, Lambdadelta was no coward. She was a great witch of the Senate. If she surrendered, she wouldn't be able to keep escape severe punishment. She would be forgiven after a few hundred years. Why would she, for being thrown into a stormy sea while clutching a buoy that could save only her, decide to throw that buoy away? No living person could be as determined as those siblings, already fighting for their lives. No one could blame Lambda.
ああ、もう本当にバカだわ。仕方ないわね。
Oh.
つまり何だと思う？
The two siblings looked at each other. However, they both thought that any plan would be worth listening to, even if it would only raise their chances by 0.00001%.
生贄よ、ベルンは猫だから逃げる獲物は追うけれど逃げない獲物は殺す。それもネチネチといたぶってね。
最悪ね。
しかしそれが本当なら
No way.
かける価値は。
生贄を一人じゃんけんで選びましょう。負けた子はベルンをたっぷり挑発して笑わせて殺されて1分1秒でも時間をか、それでいいわね。
じゃんけんはいらない。俺がやる。エンジェとラムダは鍵の部屋。
ダメよお兄ちゃん、私がやるわ。元はといえば
You know it can't be Angie. And I have a pretty good feeling it can't be Battler.
心を許した。だからあいつに一言くらい言ってやりたいのよ。
Both Battler and Angie decided to be the sacrifice, one listened to the other.
ね、じゃんけんじゃないと決まらないでしょ。さっさと決めないとこの作戦も使えなくなるわよ。
But it doesn't even matter, because Lambda's already decided for herself, hasn't she?
俺かエンジェが行け。ラムダデルタは残った方を連れて。
譲らないわよお兄ちゃん。
ふざけやがって。たまには兄らしいことをさせやがれ。
時間ないわよ。じゃんけん一発勝負。私超パーだからそれにちなんで最初はパーってね。いい？二人とも。
いいわ。
エンジェ恨み。
せーの、最初はパー。
It really was a stupid kids game of rock, paper, scissors. Since they promised to start with paper, this was a chance to make a surprise attack and use something else. However, both Battler and Angie chose rock. And yet, it wasn't a tie, because Lambda chose paper. Because in addition to those two rocks, there was one person who chose scissors. Oh, right, scissors. Rock beats scissors. I'm a dumbass. But yeah, Lambda chose the losing one. Because she knew that each sibling was going to try to sacrifice themselves for the other one. Uh-huh. After staring stupidly at their fists and those scissors, they looked at her. God damn it, Lambda. I fucking love Lambda. God damn it.
最初はパーだからチョキ出して一人勝ちしてやろうって思ったのに。
Uh-huh. Because you totally didn't know.
パー出してなきゃダメね。
There'd been no reason for Lambdadelta to join in on the game. This wasn't the time for a joke like that. Belle and Angie, each trying to lose, chose rock. Lambdadelta alone chose scissors.
あんた、わざとチョ
Fuck
キを。
yeah, she did.
お前に死なれたら俺たちこうなの無効だ。
これで大丈夫でしょ。
When Lambdadelta made a clenched fist, a palely glowing fragment appeared there. She gave it to the pair of them. God damn it, Lambda, don't do this to me. Battler had seen one of these before. It was a magic fragment, like the one Attica had used before disappearing, which would allow one to cross the sea of fragments.
それがあれば二人とも黄金鏡に帰れるわ。それにこれが一番の人選。あんたたちじゃベルン相手に数秒と持たないだろうし、私なら1時間どころかひょっとしたら勝っちゃうかもね。あの子には借りがあるし、今度は私の勝ちってことにしてイーブアウェイは辛いわね。
Lambdadelta pretended to complain as she stood up straight.
じゃあ行ってくるわ。私目立ちたがり屋だからやっぱ感激者は無理だったわ。ごめんね、出番を奪っちゃって。あんたたちのゲーム最後まで感激できないのは残念だけど、もう筋書きは教えてもらえたから見る必要もないわ。
ラムだ。
Then, with her broadest smile and a wink,
あんたたちのハッピーエンドもう先が読めちゃったから見なくても分かっちゃうわ。じゃあね、また会いましょうね。あんたたちのハッピーエンドのクレジットロールでね。
fuck yeah, Lambda.
待って。
Fuck yeah. God damn it. Lambdadelta snapped her fingers, and the two of them turned into confetto candies. She picked them up, took aim at the glint of the golden key, and flicked them away. That way, they should be able to reach the key without Bernkastel noticing. Dang, what terrible luck. What are the odds of them both playing a rock against my scissors? Yeah, I know. It wasn't nice of me to test you like that. Alright, so we're back. Of course, the game decided to crash during, a really emotional moment I was into. And then I had to sit here for like 10 minutes holding down the control button to skip through everything I just saw because of course I hadn't made a save. So like a lot of my hypes kind of died down, but yeah, I think I'm just a few lines before where we were, where everything crashed, so... The eyes met. Flash of lights. Fierce roar, bright flashes.
何事？
Bernkastel? Question marks. Yeah, it was like right after this everything crashed. A chain of explosions flashed by one after another, enveloping Bernkastel and a pack of familiars in an instant. Fuck yeah, it did. They were multicolored fireworks, damn right. Or rather, multicolored candy that burst with a flash and scattered everywhere. Countless stick candy, sugar sculptures, cookies, and tarts flew in every direction. Each one of those split and exploded into hundreds of candies, each of which exploded again into a cloud of confetto. However, these sweets weren't sweet. The completo was heavier than lead, harder than steel, and sharper than any blade. As the colorful cloud exploded outward, it blasted the entire pack of cats into little bits. The emerald-green glints were scattered everywhere and sparkled like the night sky. And among them danced a cloud of pretty candies that looked like they'd go well on a Christmas tree. It was sufficiently outrageous and beautiful and cute to mark the Great Witch Lady Lambdadelta's appearance on the scene.
あら、ラムダじゃない。あなたとはパーティー会場で会いたかった。
愛してるわベル。愛をささやくなら二人きりの方が素敵でしょ。
それはあんたの両手両足を脱いだ後にゆっくりと聞かせてちょうだい。
With a jerk of her chin, Bern ordered her familiars to attack.
私の愛しい愛しい両腕の肘から先、両足自由に食いちぎって構わないわ。それ以外に傷一つ許さないわよ。
The crowd of cats undulated again, reformed into a single mass, and became the emerald green leviathan that would swallow up any poor victims who snuck into the city of books. It was shaped like an impossibly vast whale. However, would it look like a whale from Lambda's perspective? She probably couldn't see anything except an immense mouth that would swallow up everything.
素敵。私をベルンの愛で飲み込んでくれるのね。
愛してる。あんたの手足をもいだらお尻から鉄串で貫いて私のベッドに飾ってあげる。そして毎朝目覚めのキス。そして毎夜おやす
本当に。じゃあ私もあなたを愛で包んであげる。
However, Lambdadelta's war cry was swallowed up by the glowing, writhing leviathan in a single bite.
ああ、あんたのその向こう水で命知らずでほんのりパーなところが大好きだわ。風。
Wind. The same instant that Lambdadelta was swallowed and Bernkastel was sure for victory, the latter felt a slight breeze playing with her hair. The countless sweets that Lambdadelta had sent flying like fireworks, and which drifted about like the decorations at a Christmas party, were flowing. No, they were converging on a single point. It was like watching a firework run backwards. Countless sweets rapidly contracted around the vast closed mouth of the Leviathan. A gigantic reverse explosion concentrated on a point inside it. Or perhaps it was more like countless candies were showering the Leviathan from all directions like bullets. Inside that massive green was a black swirl. That swirl was on a palm. On the palm of Lambdadelta, who wore a defiant smile. It was a mass of supergravity. Fuck yeah. All of the sweets, the cats, the whale, and everything else was being sucked into that one point and crunched. All of the candies Lambdadelta had scattered were getting sucked back to the black hole in her palm at unbelievable speeds. Fuck yeah. The reverse explosion of the oncoming candy whittled away at the Leviathan, crushing it inwards. With all her strength, Bernkastel held her ground in midair, trying to resist the supergravity. For the first time, all trace of condensation had left her face. Condescension, not condensation. Even Lambdadelta's cocky expression was marred by the sweat trailing from her forehead. Because their power was so overwhelming, any victory would have to be instantaneous. If either relaxed in the slightest, they would match each other's strengths to get dragged into another dizzyingly long fight that could last for centuries. Neither of them had any desire to go through that again. So neither of them showed the slightest mercy for their most beloved friend. By now, the Leviathan had been completely crushed and compressed inside the black hole. Bernkastel was the only one still holding her ground. However, a windstorm of candy asteroids like the asteroid belt repeatedly slammed into Bernkastel, wearing away at her girl's form bit by bit. The thing flying into Bernkastel's range of vision was a comet pelting straight for her, with a massive present box at its core and a cloud of candy surrounding it. Fuck yeah! The candy comet wiped out Bernkastel along with her scream. It burst into little bits, and within the blink of an eye, it was sucked back into a hole of supergravity. Once it was all gathered into one place like a gem, it began to spin rapidly. It was flattened by the centrifugal force, turning into something whose shape resembled a galaxy. After swallowing all of the cats and their master, it now looked like the wiggling, flickering emerald green galaxy that floated just above Lambdadelta's palm. The pocket of supergravity kept compressing it further and further, until at the end, it became a single green shining completo. Munch. Then it fell down onto her outstretched palm.
ごめんね、ベル。あなたといつまでも遊んでいたいから、いつもは必死のふりしてほどほどで遊んでるけど。
Lambdadelta held the completo above her head and peered at it.
私、本当はどうしようもなく強いのよ。ごめんね。
Then, she pressed the completo to her pink lips, gave it a light kiss, and bit down.
ベルの味がしない。
Lambdadelta licked her fingertips, then turned to face the empty air behind her. Oh, okay.
知ってたわ、愛しいラムダ。
ああ、愛してるわ、ベル。
嘘よ、あんたがいつだって私に本気じゃないって知ってたわ。
じゃあ本当に愛し合いましょう。お互い本気で。
ああ、愛してるわ。嬉しいわ。本当に嬉しいわ。
愛してるわ、ベルンカステル。あなたを飴玉に変えて永遠に私の舌の上で可愛がってあげる。
どちらが勝ってもそれって本当に素敵だわ。それって
さあ、愛し合いましょうよ。
With a crash, crack lines appeared across the sky of the Golden Land. Then finally, the barrier of the Golden Land was breached by the fleet's assault. It was a bizarre scene, more ridiculous than anything anyone had imagined. The sky of the Golden Land shattered like glass, and a fleet of sailboats flew in one after another. They were crowded with goats pushing each other and spilling off the sides. Now that's an aggressive smile. That's what we like to see. Banquet. It wasn't some fancy metaphor, but a simple statement of fact. The overwhelming surge of goat troops came in like a tsunami. The residents of the Golden Land, who stood defiantly, were like a forgotten sandcastle on a beach. A fight between a wave and a sandcastle is not a fight. This was a banquet for the oncoming Vikings at a stand-up meal. The voracious, merciless goats.
是非もなしぶち殺せ。グッとさあヤギたち、形あるものに破壊を、動くものに静寂を、生けるものに絶望を。
All those who could use magic fired it off at once. With a shout like a thunderclap, the goat tsunami rushed forward. Everything collided at once. There was a brilliant, terrible explosion. Sparks and smoke, flying splinters and screams. For just an instant, the fierce magical cannonballs fired by Beto, Virgilia, and the Chester Sister Corps seemed to halt the goat tsunami in its tracks. However, their numbers were so great that they didn't even flinch. The goat wave continued to walk over the corpses that had been blasted away or which had fallen to their knees in weakness. The mound of corpses piled up, and still more goats were shot down as they tried to cross it. So that in a few seconds it really was tall enough to be a tsunami.
あなたが築き上げてきた黄金鏡など 浜辺に子供が残した砂の城に飲み込まれて消えてしまえ。ならばそなたは岸壁に打ち寄せる無力なさざ波を思う。波に飲まれる酢、飲んでみろよ、わらわの城よ。
Fuck yeah. Beta lifted her hands, telling the pair of battle towers that had been hidden deep in the ground that the day of glory had come again. The goat tsunami looked up at it in shock. After all, this time the tsunami that towered over everything wasn't them. A thunderstorm of rapid-fire ballista rounds leapt from the battle tower gun ports. The goats let out a confused scream at the furious tempest that was bearing down on them. However, they saw something else too. In the sky, high above the tower, was a reaper astride a divine horse and backdropped by the moon. A massive spear the size of a tower in its hand. The great witch sitting on the horse by the reaper spoke.
お帰りなさい。ここはあなたたちの世界で。行っちまえ、お師匠様!
The heavenly spear pierced the ground. For an instant, it looked like some divine tower was sticking out of the ground. However, that was the very last thing those eyes ever saw. The sacred spear was the embodiment of heaven's wrath, and the strength to bury an unclean city in a single stroke was unleashed upon the pack of goats. With a massive explosion that resembled a volcanic eruption, ghosts were sent flying all over the place.
やるわね。さすが
And
魔女
then,
だ
yeah,
な。
all the humans just sitting there with guns like, aha, we'll shoot you in the face though.
でもどうかな。
敵はまだまだ来るわ。
Don't worry, we got guns.
やっぱり飲み込まれるのは私たちなのよ。
I love how the love demons are there just to be entertaining. Like, that's their sole purpose.
祭りは楽しまねば損ということだ。どうやら我らの出番がなくなるということはなさそうだぞ。みてえだな。燃えてきたぜ。
Yes. The crowd of goats truly was like a wave pressing in from the sea. You might be able to split a ripple on the beach with your feet, but you can't split the sea. Witches could. However, that meant the other side also had someone who could split seas. Suddenly, smoke poured from one of the two towers, and the ground shook as it crumbled.